Welcome to the Redefined Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about network marketing definitions. And actually, this is going to be part one in a multiple part series here on the podcast, on the Redefined Podcast. It's going to be at least 3, maybe 4, maybe even 5 episodes revolving around the network marketing profession. For me, it's, something I've been wanting to do because I want to kind of give you all my updated perspective on the profession, where it is right now, and of course, where it can go, right? So the second reason why I'm doing this is because, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to create this movement to radically, not change, but broaden the definition of network marketing to be more inclusive so that we can stay relevant in the current marketplace. That marketplace being the marketplace that includes the gig economy, the influencer space, the content creation space, the affiliate space, right? The direct consumer model, all these things that has happened, especially post pandemic, that we as a profession largely haven't adapted to. And it's equated to some, pretty drastic declines across the board in the profession, right? And as a result of these declines, what I'm seeing in the field is that top leaders are resorting to and relying on antiquated practices and antiquated definitions, and doubling down and accelerating their use of these things in order to try to catch up with this sinking ship, right? In order to try to plug the holes. Unfortunately, more water is coming in than these particular definitions and antiquated practices can keep up with, right? And so we have to adapt. And so that's my mission. I'm really, I've been speaking about this since back in the spring, leading up to when I did the Redefined Network Marketing event in May. So I'm still on this mission. I've kind of retaken up. I don't know if that's a word, but you guys know what I mean. I've taken that mantle up again. Now that I'm back in the social sphere and I'm creating and publishing content, continue to get some more steam behind this movement of radically evolving and expanding the definition and therefore the practices of network marketing. Now, why am I so adamant about redefining network marketing? Because we're operating under definitions that had evolved back 20 plus years ago, right? And I get it. They evolved out of necessity and out of the constraints and the parameters of what we were given with the compensation plans and with company structures. Like these definitions and these practices evolved out of that, and they worked very well for the time. However, the reality is they're not working as well. And I'm going to get into like the mechanics of it and the recruiting and all that stuff. I'll get into that in a later episode. But, again, the decline that we're generally seeing overall in the industry is a result of of us gatekeeping with these definitions. And when I say gatekeeping, I really mean it's some really insidious, pervasive gatekeeping so here's my quick thought on gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is us really keeping ourselves shut in, right? What are we guarding? We're guarding the gate from us being able to see a broader perspective is what happens. We think that we're protecting the definition, but we're really not. We're not guarding any real meanings in network marketing. To be a network marketing professional, quote unquote, you have to be X, Y, and Z. Now you might be saying, any profession requires certain criteria, right? Like you wouldn't, walk into a hospital and just call yourself a doctor without going through what it takes to be a doctor, without meeting the criteria. You wouldn't do that for, if you were a lawyer. You wouldn't do that if you're an engineer or whatever other profession. And I will absolutely 100% agree with that. Those definitions, however, those criteria are dictated by the profession itself, right? By the career itself. in network marketing, that's not the case, right? These definitions were created largely by the distributor field, the leaders in the distributor field, who have gained success, who have earned, maybe the privilege of sharing their particular journey, their particular how-to, and how they were able to achieve success in hopes of helping people do the same. I get that, but to say that this is definitively what it is, X, Y, and Z, is patently false. It might be your particular journey, it might be how you got to massive success in network marketing, but it's not the only way to get there. Again, especially in today's marketplace, in the digital age. So we have to really be careful about what we're perpetuating as network marketing, because it's really just dogma. And what I see is that the people that we're able to kind of bring in, new people that we're able to bring into the fold are people who have no preconceived notion about network marketing. And once they're in, the only people that stay are the ones that we're able to indoctrinate with this closed-minded and narrow dogma of network marketing, right? Like network marketing is really what you want it to be. Just like the definition of success in network marketing is whatever you want it to be, right? If you want to earn an extra couple $100 a month in your business, and that's successful to you, then that's success, right? Like that's all it means. Don't let my definition of success, stop you from building your business and working towards that. Don't even let my methodologies stop you from doing business the way you want to do business, because in network marketing, there are very few actual criteria. All you have to really do is just sign up and register, pay the registration fee, purchase product, and then from there you figure out how to make money, again, within the parameters that you're given of the compensation plan and the products, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever anybody else says is just malarkey, to be honest. And if they're perpetuating it as this is what it means to be and what it looks like to be a professional network marketer, that's no way to be, right? Because who am I? Who am I to tell you what it means to be a professional? And on top of that, think about from the other end, when people hear that, they're like, man, if I heard that as a new person and I don't particularly fit in that mold, and I don't particularly align with that definition, then what hope do I have, right? Then I'm just going to opt myself out, because, X, Y, and Z, Joe Schmo, top leader with a fancy Armani suit and Armani suit and Rolex watches and fancy shoes is telling me that who I am isn't professional. So I might as well move on to the next thing. Anyways, there's other things that I could do because I have so many more options, right? Right? Think about that. Think about things in those terms, how limiting those definitions can be, right? And so that's why we have to expand, because we're shutting our profession off from potentially changing thousands and thousands of lives, because we are unwilling to broaden that conversation and to be more inclusive. What we're doing right now, and again, we're doubling down. I'm seeing top leaders across the profession doubling down on all of this, because everybody's grasping at straws to see what works, and so they're just doing more of this old antiquated stuff. Ultimately, we're just imposing a very narrow definition, right? We're imposing on people a very narrow definition, and a very arbitrary definition at that. We're imposing this definition of what it means to be a professional network marketer on people who may have different needs, right? And people who may have different sensibilities, different ambitions, even, right? Again, I got into this profession to be autonomous, right? I got into this profession because I didn't want a boss. I didn't want anybody telling me what to do. And so once I learned, kind of the basic fundamentals and the mechanics and learn the constraints and the parameters of compensation plans and business within network marketing, then I was free to practice the business any way I wanted, and I've become even more free as some compensations have adapted. I'm gonna talk about that in a future episode. Have evolved, to be more competitive in the marketplace, and especially the tools that we have in the with the internet and with social media, how those things have really kind of come into play, right? I've become more free actually with exploring different ways of practicing, and different mechanics of how to build a business and how to create income. Because bottom line, it's how to create income, right? And really, we've only talked about one singular path to get there, and that is enrollment and recruitment of a downline and building teams and building leadership. And again, that's a in a future episode in the series. So as far as the definition goes, yeah, here's what I suggest for you as a network marketer, and this goes to if you are a seasoned veteran who has an organization in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or if you're a brand new person. It's really simple two prong attack. Two suggestions. That's what I was trying to say. I was trying to get fancy, but it's really just two suggestions. Number one, detach yourself from the dogma and really identify where indoctrination is happening within your organization, right? If you're hearing it from the upline leadership, and the language is very binary, either or, then chances are it's indoctrination. If you're seeing that, as a leader, on the flip side, if you're seeing that your training is very limited, and it's very small and narrow conversation, you want to expand that to be more inclusive so that more people can have, can see success and can do different things in order to get to that end goal, which is generate income, right? So detach from existing and antiquated dogma and be on the lookout for indoctrination. Number two is, well, as always, work within the parameters and constraints of your company's compensation plan, because that's going to largely dictate how income is created. And by the way, as an aside, if your company does not have a commission for customer enrollment and retailing, then you might want to really consider looking for another company. Number one, hey, come call me, reach out to me, because my company has a very lucrative customer based commission on the front end, customer enrollment, as well as retailing. But I say that in jest, because not like eat, but in jokingly, right? In jest. I say that jokingly because it's an important innovation, right? We have to really start focusing on customer acquisition and customer enrollment and that product experience, if we want to expand this conversation into the modern digital age, right? Because nobody wants to talk about recruiting. Again, I know I said this a few times, but I'm going to touch on that particular subject. Sorry, touch the mic. I'll touch on that particular subject in an episode coming up soon. So work within the parameters of your company's comp plan. Of course, policies and procedures. You always want to stay compliant with that within your company and what you can do. Make sure you're not putting the company at risk. And then, of course, staying compliant with any kind of regulatory guidelines, right? You don't want the regulators jumping down your throat just because you're trying to make a quick buck by telling people your product will, help them grow a third arm, or, help them improve, fix their vision. Like, I've seen people make claims on the internet about how their product helps improve and fix, I've seen actual people say it's fixed my vision. And you just can't say shit like that. You really can't. So make sure within the parameters of your company's comp plan, the policies and procedures, and staying compliant with regulators wherever, in whatever market you happen to be, innovate. Really think outside of the box of the dogma and of the indoctrination, of the antiquated network marketing definitions that we've been working under for the last who knows how many decades. Really think outside the box, use the tools, the platforms that we have available to us at our fingertips in the palm of our hands with our smart devices, and really, just start to innovate, right? Look at what people are doing outside of network marketing that's working. Look at what people are doing that might be different from what you're doing in the network marketing space, right? And see what we can adopt, see what you can implement, because there's very few limitations. Again, outside of all the kind of parameters of compliance and policies and procedures and comp plan and regulatory body, we're at liberty to practice network marketing any way we want to practice. And that at the core of everything is what this redefined network marketing movement is all about. Practice the way you want to practice it, and really within the guidelines and within the parameters of staying compliant, innovate. Go try new things, because that's how we're going to come up with ideas that can then get taught to a larger whole, and we can disseminate that information, and we can then start to expand and broaden the definition of what network marketing looks like. Right. So that's it. That's the idea for this particular episode. Of course, tune in. The next episode, I'm going to be talking about strategy, right? And really not specific strategy, but what we in network marketing have typically called strategy is not strategy, right? So I'm going to get to that in the next episode. And then in the next episode after that, we are going to talk about bulk packages, high CV or high GV packages in our profession. So you got a lot to look forward to. And of course, there's way more than that afterwards. Again, it's going to be at least 4, if not 5 episode series. So strap in, tune in. And if you're not already following the show, hit that plus button that's at the top of whatever podcast app you might be listening to. If you're not following us on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube version of this show. If you're not part of the Redefined community, come join us on the Redefined community. It's facebook.com/groups/Redefined community. All right, so that's going to do it for today. Until next time, we'll just stay tuned. So be well, be safe, and go towards goodness.